morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Specialist Miko, and I'll be conducting a brief on legal and NCO leader. In case of emergencies, we got two exits on the left and the right, and the classification is unclassified, and the risk assessment is low. So the purpose of this brief is to explain the legal authorities and responsibilities of the NCO leader. I want to give you a clear understanding on what the legal responsibilities is and what's punishment and misconduct and what they issue you and they give you for the repercussion of basically what the soldier does and what happens to the soldier. So basically what we're going to be going over is the legal side, the NCO leader's purpose, the NJPs and the USMJ, and the NCO to the officer, the difference between them. So the legal side, you have the Judge Advocate General Court, is basically the JAG. So what the JAG is like the lawyers, is like basically it's what the soldiers go to. They're the lawyers who the soldiers go to. And for anything they need to set up and stuff like that on the military side, the soldiers go to them. But the NCOs have to be the one to set it up. Like they can't do it themselves, so the NCOs have to be with them and set it up and everything. So basically they know what they're tracking. And the Inspector General, the IG, basically what that is, they're the ones soldiers will bring it to see if the court martial is worth writing. Like if the soldier gets in trouble and gets a court martial, counseling, anything like that, then they'll go to the Inspector General and they'll be the ones to be like, hey, let me read over it and tell like, okay, your crime fits the punishment. Like you deserve that. Like you can't. They feel like that this is justified, but the soldier can go to them if they feel like it's not justified, and they're the ones to determine. And then they'll tell you how to fix it and like what you have to do. Just in case anything else happens, and be like, hey, you're in the wrong. They're correct, and this is what you must do to fix your actions. So NCO leader. We're going to start with the purpose. Basically, the purpose is to correct, educate, and reform their soldiers. So the purpose is they're going to go out to correct them. Make sure if they see something wrong and then the soldier's doing wrong, then they're going to take the legal action and inform them and tell them like, hey, this is wrong. You can't get in trouble for this and this. And if you keep doing more than this, then this is what will happen. Between anything, like they'll tell you like, hey, this was not the way to go. This is not how you conduct things in a professional manner. You have to remember we're like in a uniform, like we represent the government. So that's basically what they're correcting on. And also the actions we're gonna take is to educate. That's basically is to educate them on what not to do and how to make things better. So that's basically telling them, now that you already know what's wrong and right, and like you already know what you did wrong, now I'm gonna tell you all the things you can do to like make it better, to not ever make this happen again, and the actions that they have to give you now to tell you like, hey, this is what needs to be done. This is how you will fix everything that you do, and basically the results. The results are to reform. They're gonna make them the best soldiers they can be, so that they can ever end up in a situation again. So now that they're reformed and they know the difference in what they don't and what they do know, like before their actions, they was like, I didn't know that this was the wrong thing to do. I didn't know I was not supposed to be here. But now they know. So now they could learn from their mistakes and pass it on to other soldiers. So that's basically what the legal actions is of the NCO leaders, to be looking out for their soldiers. So they know, like they're always in a military manner. They always have bearing. They always set the standards. Like it doesn't matter if they're E1 or E5. Everybody knows the standards of what they must do. So now we're moving on to the UCMJ and NJPs. The AR 27-10. It has 146 articles, 12 sub-articles in total, and in total 158. And then 77-1 34 is punitive articles, meaning if violated, it can result in the court martials. Also, the non-judicial punishment, those are the NJPs. So now we're going to start with the AR 27-10. Basically, the AR 27-10, that will have all your UCMJs and everything. Basically, that's the battalion commander will open it up and decide which article they'll use to be dealt with. Like, it has all the articles from Article 1 through 15 and even more. And then basically, so if you mess up 3 times, one is going to start with a counseling and then work their way up. They're going to have to counsel you so they know, like, hey, I've counseled him way too much now, so now he deserves Article 15. Article 15s is the ones that's always giving out the most, because basically, you know, it's like it's like basically the ones that works the best. Like when you always give it out, soldiers, they fix themselves, they get corrected and everything. And basically, now I'm gonna give you the 3 articles. Like there are 3 type of articles. There's summary, field grade, and commander grade in Article 15. Summary is basically like a company level. It's punishable up to 14 days, extra days of 14 more days of extra duty, 14 days of restriction. So basically it's like a slap on the wrist. It'll like straighten you up, tell you like, hey, get your stuff together. And it can't really follow you. So once it's written down and everything, then it's just in the books. But once you PCS and move over, then it won't follow you. Now we're gonna go to field grade. Field grade is punishable up to 60 days of restriction and 45 days of additional duty, and takes half of your pay for 2 months. That's the one that sticks with you your whole career. So it's gonna follow you everywhere you go, no matter what happens. That's always gonna be the one in your ERB. So anytime they can look it up, they'll see you had a field grade. Company grade is the one that can go further in your career and is punishable just like the summarized, and it also adds 7 days of your pay taken away and 1 rank taken away from you too. But it's all at the commander's discretion. He can decide from whatever anything that happens and how he wants, you know, your punishment to be. Now we're gonna move into NJPs. So before we go that, NJPs, they also have 3 type of NJPs, and there's 3 types of court-martials: summarized, special court-martial, and general court-martial. Summarized is punishable up to 30 days confinement. Special has 2 different type of levels. The first level, it has a military judge and prosecutor and defense team. You can also have a jury if you want, but it's going to be there. And then the general is the strictest one of them all. They can be punishable up to death depending on the severity of the crime and how, and if the punishment fits the crime, then that's what's going to have to be. So NCO to officer, basically that's saying you like, is a difference between how an NCO could approach a regular soldier and how they should approach an officer. A soldier, they can just go up there and correct them and tell them, hey, you're wrong. But to an officer, they just have to pull them to the side and be like, hey, excuse me, sir, you know, I don't think this is the correct way to go about things. And that's how it be. And now, so summary, we basically went about the legal side, NCO leader's purpose, the NJPs and the USMJ, and the NCO's to officers. So basically, so how many Article 15s are there? You know, we can ask questions.
Sergeant, there are 3.
And what are they?
The summarized, field grade, and company grade, Sergeant.
Correct. So that basically concludes my brief today. Specialist Miko, thank you.